Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome, everybody, to the Empowered Living community. My name is Paul Martinelli. Great to be with you this Saturday. We're going to be talking about the Fully Resource Program. I got two other announcements I want to share with you. I've got a busy weekend. I'm working with Misiel Diaz and John Mejia and Fabio Garcia. You know John and Fabio, they run our noon show on Mondays. We've got 20 people come in town for a mastermind group. They were in yesterday, so we spent the day Friday doing some exercises from our Turning Point retreat. And today and tomorrow we'll be just working together, getting a growth plan for those folks. Fantastic program. So I'm excited for that. Two special announcements. First off, I'm offering a free 4-week sales training program. So if you're thinking about purchasing, joining, jumping into any other sales training program, I encourage you to hold off and give this one a go. It's for free, costs you nothing, packed full of content. We're going to start the first Saturday in August and then every Saturday thereafter. So click on the link below. We're going to talk about how to maintain rapport. One of the things we're going to teach you is how to maintain rapport in between interactions with the client. One of the hardest things, and I get asked this all the time, is someone goes in, meets with the client, goes really well, and the client says, why don't you send me over a proposal? And then the coach or the trainer, right, goes home, sends over and emails the client, the prospect, the full detail of the scope of work, and then it's like crickets. They never hear back from them. It's like all of a sudden, the buyer is turned into Casper the Friendly Ghost, and they don't know how to get them back on the phone. They can never get that follow-up meeting, or they don't get, emails returned, or someone says, let me think about it. Give me a call on Monday. And then you call on Monday and you never hear from them again. And you wonder, what went wrong? The meeting went so well. We laughed, we connected, but for some reason, they're not getting back to you. I'll share with you that the reason that happens is because in that sales process, somewhere along the line, you broke rapport. And so we're going to help you understand what rapport really is, the difference between rapport and commonality, and how to maintain rapport not only during that initial discovery and intelligence gathering phase, but also once you've submitted a proposal and you kind of go out to, the twilight zone where things can get really weird. We're also going to be talking about what questions to use and how to use the questions in the intelligence gathering. There are questions that you can ask and ways that you ask questions in the intelligence gathering when you're finding out, what the prospect's wants and needs and problems are, that actually have the prospect pre-sell themselves, where they actually convince themselves that they need you, your product, or your service. So we're going to talk about the intelligence gathering, and we're going to give you some of these questions to ask. We're also going to talk about the objections from a prospect. When do you actually rebut an objection, and when do you deflect? And this is different in the two. There are times where you absolutely want to be able to rebut an objection from a client, and there's other times where you want to completely deflect that as though you didn't even hear it. Let it just go right over your head and move the conversation into a different direction. The difference between the two is huge when it comes down to the result. There's times where you have to kind of dig in and rebut, and there's others where you just have to really be able to determine, was this a real objection? Or was this a smokescreen for uncertainty? And was the prospect really making an objection, or were they waiting for you to give them more details that would build more certainty? I know this is kind of counterintuitive because we think that we want to overcome every objection. We're also going to talk about never explaining all the details of your program. One of the things that I see salespeople do all the time incorrectly is they think that telling is selling. They give all the details and all the information to the client because they want to, they think they're adding value to the client by informing the client. They want the client to make an informed decision. And in most cases, that's the wrong thing to do. You want to give the client enough information for them to make a decision, but not all of the information, because some of the information that you share they didn't even have questions or concerns about. But now that you brought it up, now that's more for them to think about. And it raises even more objections. So we'll show you where that threshold is between giving them just enough information for them to make, a really good qualified decision, and where you can actually talk too much and blow the deal. We'll also talk about the most effective language patterns, words to use, and the different tonalities. Look, over 1,500 people have already registered for this, so do not miss out on this. Go ahead and click on the link below, and all the information is there. We start in the first Saturday of August. It's live training, it's video training, it's with me, 4 weeks, 90-minute sessions, all for free. Lots of meat on the bone for this one. Okay, lots of content. Second announcement is our team is calling this kind of Christmas in July. Over the 4th of July weekend, we discounted this fully resourced program. And the challenge we had was we had many people request a discovery call with our team. We don't offer this program with an online purchase. You have to speak with one of our team members to do a discovery call. We want to know, what it is that you want to create, what it is that you're working on, so that we can make sure that the program is going to work for you, and also show you how you could use the program. We just didn't have enough time to be able to talk to everybody. So we've actually been offering the discount through the entire month of July to offer and honor our commitment to those people who did fill out the form and request a call. So we're wrapping up all of the July inquiries. If you would like to learn more about the fully resourced program and get a significant, I think it's a 40% discount that the team is offering right now, as well as an additional 6 months of mentorship calls with the program, you have to click on the link. You have to register for your discovery call this weekend. Rick Raperto, who heads up this program and the sales of this program, is just passionate about talking to people. He is passionate about hearing your dream. He is passionate about hearing where you are and helping you think into your next step and the way for you to navigate getting to that next step. So no matter where you are in your journey, even if you don't enroll in the program, just being able to have a conversation with Rick or really any one of our team members is going to be an enriching, rewarding opportunity for you. They're just really skilled at listening to people's dreams. They're just really skilled at helping you, build that image of what it is that you want. And they're great partners in belief. And sometimes just having someone that you can speak your dream to for the first time, speak it aloud about what it is that you want to create, it makes all the difference. So again, two announcements. Jump into the sales program and take advantage of a 40% discount. We will not offer this again this year, I'm sure. So take advantage of it now. It's a 40% discount plus an additional 6 months of mentorship calls. So let's jump in. So last session, we explored the 6 intellectual faculties, and we talked about how the use of these 6 intellectual faculties, I described them as also as kind of mental muscles, right? So when we are thinking, when we have thoughts that come into our mind, and we're making observations about our life's conditions and circumstances, we can allow our old programming to spiral. The voice from our own self-judgment can get so loud that it could actually talk us out of our dream. So you may have a dream, a desire to be, do, or have more. You may be wanting to start a new program. You may be wanting to step out and start a new business, do something new, try something new. And you get excited, you're inspired, and then all of a sudden you begin to self-sabotage. Who do you think you are? How are you going to do this? Where are you going to get the money? Who's going to buy your program? Who's going to listen to you? You've never been able to do things like this. And it's the use of our intellectual faculties. We have 6 of them, right? Perception, reason, will, memory, intuition, imagination. It's the use of these 6 intellectual faculties that help us take control of our thoughts and our emotions. And so we want to understand what these 6 faculties are and how we use them. Last week, we talked about the intellectual faculty of reason. We're also going to be looking at, who may have programmed you when you were a child. And make no mistake about it, before the age of reason, so from the time you were conceived until probably 9 or 10 years old, you were programmed to believe things. You were programmed to believe things about you. You were programmed to believe things about other people. You were programmed to believe things about things you could do, you were capable of doing, you had the right to do, your own self-worth. And so we want to look at what was that programming, who programmed us, and what did they program us with? Because I can tell you, for most people, our programming came from our parents, our grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers. And although they meant well, if we look back at their lives and we look at the results that they had in the areas that we want to improve our results in, they may not have been getting the best results. And if we're operating from their programming, if we're operating from their belief system that hasn't evolved, that hasn't grown in awareness of your potential, then you're going to end up getting what they got. And if you're like me, that's a non-starter for me. I want to produce more in my life. I want more from my life. So we're going to build on that in this session. So this clip here is 11 minutes long, and it focuses on examining these belief systems. Taking the time, and I teach in this 11-minute clip a process for you to examine what it is you believe and why you believe it. Socrates said that the unexamined life is a life not worth living. So what he's saying is that until we're willing to enter into the process of self-discovery, until we're willing to challenge our internal belief system, our old programming, then what we do is we end up trying to control our lives from the outside in. We try to control the conditions and circumstances, never really realizing that the problem always was, and always will be within us. That our results are a direct reflection of what we believe. Our results are a direct reflection of our awareness of our potential. Our results are not a reflection of our potential. You have infinite potential. The results you get in any area of your life is a reflection of what you believe you are capable of doing, what you believe your potential to be. And as you expand your awareness of your potential, as you become aware of what your potential truly is, and you do that by challenging some of the beliefs you have. See, our beliefs are based on our evaluation of things, and frequently, if we'll reevaluate what we believe about things, our beliefs will change. Wayne Dyer said that when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And that's so true for you and I, that when we change the way we look at ourselves, when we change the way we look at our potential, about what's possible for our lives, then our lives begin to change.
My grandparents were hit hard during the Great Depression in the United States. They were filled with fear and uncertainty. Don't you think it's possible they passed some of that energy signature onto their children, my mom and my dad? And when you were in your little bassinet on the floor next to the dining room or kitchen table, what kinds of conversations do you think were taking place between mom and dad? When they would, put you in your crib at night and they'd get ready for bed and would discuss their day and the lives they were living, do you think those conversations were filled with true possibility thinking? Or were they discussions about how to just get by and make sure that we can make it through just another month, where the money was going to come from? What kind of car did you ride in? Or maybe your family didn't have a car because you couldn't afford one, like how I grew up. We didn't have a family car, but I knew all the other kids did. We didn't have a TV set growing up. I knew all the other families did, but we couldn't afford one. When I was growing up, I can remember hearing the loud pounding on kind of our basement door and hearing the deep voice of a man shouting, "Water, man! We're here coming in to turn off the water. 5 minutes." And I remember all of us kids and my mother scrambling around the kitchen to fill pots of water from the house. One of us was in charge of filling up the bathtub in one of the bathrooms we had. We could do this because we knew that we'd be spending the next few days without water. When I went to school and I stuttered and I was picked on and teased by the other kids and called stupid and dumb, what kind of self-image or self-concept do you think that caused to be programmed into my little subconscious deductive mind with no ability to reject those ideas? Take a few minutes now and then come back to this page and on the lines provided, see if you can't try to recall some of what might be your past programming and the programming of your family. And then ask yourself, when I look at my results today, do I see any connection between the programming and the results I have? I think you're going to find lots of them. And the problem is, we lack the ability to reason. We could not challenge those beliefs. We couldn't challenge those patterns, those thoughts, those ideas, those images, and certainly not those emotions. They just got placed into us and they never, ever go away. We can only do two things. We can decrease the power they have, and we can reduce the amplitude of their vibrations so they are no longer the dominant energy of our life. And we can also, as creative beings given free will, we can choose and make a decision for our lives to create a new, more powerful, more loving, more abundant, more confident concept and program that into our minds so it becomes the dominating vibration of our thoughts. And we do this by reasoning inductively. We take control of our reasoning faculty and begin to reason and think about, what would we love to do? What would I love to do and be and have, regardless of our past, regardless of our conditions or circumstances? We can also interrupt the old pattern and beliefs when they begin to express themselves to, with, and through us. Sometimes they express themselves in our thoughts or voices in our heads. Other times they may express themselves in our emotion and behavior. As soon as we become aware of any thought, any idea, any voice, or any pattern that is not in harmony with our highest good, we can begin at once to immediately challenge the conviction of those beliefs and those ideas. What this looks like is I would have an opportunity come to me, or an idea for me to create something far beyond my current circumstances and conditions. And I would immediately begin to tell myself that was impossible. I could never be able to do that because I lacked an education. I had no diploma, I had no GED, I was a high school dropout, and high school dropouts don't, own companies, they work for companies. I can remember Thanksgiving 1987 at my mother's house. In attendance, my mother, my stepfather Mike, my grandmother, and Uncle Petey, my two brothers, and my older sister and her husband. During the dinner, I told everyone that I was going to quit my volunteer work I had been doing with an international nonprofit group called the Guardian Angels, and I was going to take the $200 that I had saved, and I was going to buy a used vacuum, a mop bucket, and a wringer, and some cleaning chemicals, and I was going to go into business for myself. I was going to start a commercial cleaning business, cleaning offices late at night. As soon as the words left my mouth, it was like a well-designed orchestra, and all you could hear is all the forks kind of just dropping onto the plates. I had no sooner spoken my dream out loud, and they all started in. How are you going to do that? Where are you going to get customers? Have you really thought this one through? Do you remember what your bedroom looked like when you were growing up, and you want to go into the cleaning business? Have you lost your mind? And then, best of all, my grandmother, the love of my life. I loved my grandmother growing up. She blurts out, "Let's call Ro and see if she can get him in. Let's call Ro and see if she can get him in." Ro was my cousin Rose, my Uncle Petey's daughter. And Rose has been working at the post office at the time for like 10 years. And my grandmother's great plan for my life was for me to be a mailman. And maybe my cousin Rose could use her pull to get me a job. And very quickly, my older brother Tom claimed, he just jumped right in. He can't do that. He doesn't even have a GED. He'd never pass the test. Literally, all of this happened, in 30 seconds. And these were supposed to be my partners in belief, right? This was my inner circle. And those same voices and the same meaning of their words would have me question myself and every decision I would make for the next 3.5 years until I met my mentor, Patrick Hayes. What I learned to do is, as soon as I became aware of those voices, I would cross-examine them like you do in a court of law. Why does Paul have to fail because he dropped out of high school? Isn't it true many people went on to great success in life who failed out of school? Isn't it true that Edison only had a 3-month education? See, you can't afford luxury of a negative idea. You can't afford the luxury of a negative idea. I had to begin to reason inductively. As soon as the deductive concept of my negative self-image would begin to express itself. My friends, life is a fight for territory. Life is a fight for territory. And you can't give your negative self-belief 1 inch of room in your self-image, in your self-concept, in your spirit, in your heart. I would spend the better part of the next 10 years literally doing battle against every limiting belief I held of myself. Some of them I had to slay every single day. Others would pop up, and just as soon as something good would come into my life, boom, there they were, like a sacred friend. This part of me came to teach me and challenge me to break through by learning how to really reason inductively. I mastered the skill of challenging every one of my limiting beliefs. Had I been a lawyer, I would have been the Perry Mason of positive cross-examination of all lawyers. I would study the lives of successful people, and I would learn all of their failures, all of their shortcomings, all of the challenges, all of the unfair deals that life had thrown their way, and yet they had reached great heights of success. All of their challenges, regardless. And I would use their lives and their results as evidence against my limiting beliefs. I do a lot of mentoring for the John Maxwell team, a company and program I started with my business partner, John C. Maxwell. And the thousands of coaches I mentor, affectionately call me the assassin. What they mean is that I assassinate any limiting belief a person holds of themselves. I will never make an agreement with the low opinions people hold of themselves, their skill, their talent, their ability, their potential. Now, that's only one side of the equation. I also mastered the use of my deductive reasoning faculty. I learned how to introduce new ideas, new beliefs, and new concepts about who I was and what was possible for my life. I would sit down and I would write out what I wanted and needed to believe was my truth. And I learned how to anchor those thoughts, those ideas, and those images into my deductive, reasoning subconscious mind. I'll share how to do that in just a minute, but let's go back to our exercise in the workbook. You now have the start of a list of things that you've been programmed to believe from those of kind of your early ancestry. What I'd like you to do now is make a list of some of the beliefs you hold that you know, if they were fully expressed, would not create what you would want for your life. Think of all the beliefs that you hold right now, and if you were to see those beliefs fully expressed, and you know that they wouldn't create the life you would want, write them down. As an example, I wrote down, it does not serve me to believe that I am dumb and stupid. It does not serve me to believe that I will never amount to anything. It does not serve me to believe that I'll never make $1 million a year because no one in my family had ever made that kind of money. It does not serve me to believe that I can't get rich in the cleaning business. It does not serve me to believe that no one would ever hire me because I'm a high school dropout. It does not serve me to believe that I'll never be able to save up for a down payment on a house. It does not serve me. And you can fill in the blanks for your own life. Take a few minutes now and just get the first 5 or 10 written out. And then keep coming back and adding to this list as you become aware of more and more of them. Then I want you to see if you can create the belief that does serve you. And some ways you can reason inductively so that you can fortify your faith. Here's an example from my list. Up until now, I believed I was dumb and stupid. And my truth is that I had the capacity to learn new things. The truth is, some children are visually or auditory learners, and I was and I am a kinetic learner. And I learn best from doing and experiencing, not from listening to a teacher or reading a book. I am not dumb or stupid. I had bad teachers. They did their best at their level of awareness, but they were trained to teach how the majority of children learn, which is visually and auditory. And they lacked the skill, training, and resources to teach me the way I learn. I also believe that I was not created by God to get the same results the majority of people get in their lives. The majority end up dead broke and relying on some form of government assistance like Social Security to make ends meet. I want to be in the minority, and I want the results that the minority of people get in their lives. I want to become rich. Here's another one. Up until now, I used to believe I'd never amount to anything because I didn't have a formal education. The truth is, there are more millionaires who dropped out of high school or college by percentage than those who went on to graduate from high school and complete a 4-year college. Edison only had 3 months of education, and things worked out pretty good for him. My truth is, I'm a creative being, created by God to have dominion over all things. That promise doesn't mean all things but my job or career or my income. It means all things. My truth is that I can collaborate, hire, or partner with other people who have skills and talents I lack and choose not to develop, as it would be a waste of my time to learn those kinds of things. Why would I invest my time in learning how to do my taxes when I can hire an accountant? Why would I learn how to create business contracts when I can hire a lawyer to do that for me? While I focus on the skills I do have to design and create the life I'm imagining. You get the idea. You want to write out the new belief you would have to believe in order to live the life you're dreaming of. A good way to know if you're on the right track is to write out the new belief and imagine if I really lived out this belief. If I made the decisions in my life from this belief, if I took the action steps of this belief, if I thought the thoughts of this belief, if I surrounded myself with the people who shared this belief, if this new belief were to be fully expressed in my life, would it produce the results of my highest good? If not, go back and sharpen your pencil and work with it until it does. Once you've completed this exercise for the 5 or 10 limiting beliefs that hold, you most about yourself, I'm going to share with you the other 5 faculties and then teach you the process of using your deductive reasoning faculty to anchor these new beliefs so that they become the dominant vibration of your thoughts and behavior. Do the exercise. Remember, Emerson said, do the thing.
Believe and why you believe it may be the most powerful thing you can do in personal growth and development. Taking the time to really challenge what you believe. It's one of the biggest epiphanies I had is that it's possible and highly likely that you believe a lie about yourself. That you believe something that's not true about you. And the problem with beliefs is that we buy into them, right? We believe them to be true. We're passionate about them. When in truth, there's many things in our life that we believe that just simply aren't true about us. Again, I spent the first half of my life believing that I was dumb and stupid because of a program I was running, because of a low self-esteem, because I stuttered, because other kids teased me. And then I produced those results. Remember what I said before the clip, that our results are a direct reflection of our awareness of our potential. And as we begin to expand the awareness and understanding of what we're truly capable of doing, then everything changes. And if we look at this idea of money, and we think of our programming around money, all of us have been programmed about how much money we can make, how much money we're worth, how much money we can earn and save, how much money we can have over the future of our life. We've been programmed. And unfortunately, for most of us, we've been programmed that money is one of those things that you don't talk about. It's impolite to talk about. Most people have never been really taught anything about money, about what money really is. Money is just an idea that's exchanged for value and service. That's all it is. It's an idea that we've all agreed on, that has a defined value that we all agree on, and then it's exchanged for services and products and value. And again, if we're not taught about what money really is, it's no wonder so many people feel uncomfortable talking about money. I mean, you really want to shake things up. Just tonight, at the dinner table, maybe you're going out with some friends and say, you know what, let's talk about money. Let's talk about how much everybody makes, and let's talk about what everybody's goals is around money, and everybody kind of freaks out. It's no wonder that in the sales process, most people are afraid to ask for the order. They do a great job at describing the product. They do a great job at describing the service, the features, the benefits. They can overcome all the objections, but they blow it when it comes time to close the deal. When it comes time for them to ask for the money, especially if you're the product, if you're a coach, if you're a speaker, if you're a trainer, and you are the product, you're the service, you're selling you. And you have to look at somebody and you have to establish your value and you have to ask for your value. For most people, it's a really uncomfortable, and it's no wonder they get tripped up in the sales process. One of the things that we teach in our sales course, we spend probably the first couple of hours in our sales course talking about money and our relationship with money, because until you can get the money programming, the money paradigm right in your mind, it's going to be really difficult for you to have conversations with other people and ask for your value. I hope this has served you. Make sure that you register for our 4-week free sales training. Free sales training. Do not miss out on this. And then also, this weekend, this is it. It's the last. It's Christmas in July. July ends this weekend. Make sure you click on the link below. 40% discount off of the fully resourced program and an additional 6 months of the mentorship calls. This month only. Make sure you get on the phone with Rick Ruperto and one of our salespeople this week and let them have a discovery call with you. Let one of my members on my team listen into your dream. You owe it to yourself to do that. Trust me, even if you don't enroll in the program, just having someone be a partner in belief, just having someone listen to your dream and not laugh at it, just have somebody listen to your dream and your goal and actually think, yeah, I can see you doing that. And maybe even sharing a few ideas and techniques that you might be able to implement to get what it is that you want. It costs you absolutely nothing to have the call. So I hope you'll register for the sales program, and I hope you'll schedule your call this weekend. 40% discount on the fully resourced program and 6 additional months of mentorship. You can't beat it. Be well. God bless.